Alright guys, welcome back. So the last episode we were planning on going through the Ashina Castle, however, instead we are going to go ahead and proceed down to Senpou Temple, which you're going to reach by going through Ashina Depths, or the dungeon here. These little locust things aren't the biggest deal, but go ahead and equip your flame vent for this area. There's going to be a lot of these little undead guys, and you're going to want to burn them up before you kill them. That way you only have to deal with them once. And you can see if you burn them before, they just disappear. They do not come back, and you won't have to deal with them twice. Rotting prisoner's note. A note left by the dead rotting man in the abandoned dungeon. Supposedly the fragrant stone is enshrined in a village in the Ashina Depths, but how to interpret throw oneself. This is as far as the old Okami tome could take me. But did they truly reach the Fountainhead Palace? I'd like to know, but it seems I will never. Kotaro, forgive me. Alright, so these little things are going to jump down on top of you. Again, they're not a threat. Just going to deal with them by slashing them up. Alright, so inside this dungeon, we're going to see, it's a pretty fucked up area. Or messed up area, my bad. And there's a lot of stuff going on down here. But we're going to take the most indirect route. That way we can kind of get everything that we want. Go ahead and burn this guy up. Pacifying agents. So kind of giving you a lot of anti-terror items, which is good. We're going to definitely utilize those if we need them. Some oil, again, good idea to use oil, and to kind of fit with the lore, the oil down here is because they're trying to get rid of all these undead apparition kind of things. Crumbling offering tower, here lies the vassals of the Ashina clan, executed after the Great Rebellion. May their spirits rest. So before we head down this path, we got some more up here we want to knock out. Alright, so here we're going to meet a character.
What are you doing here? Of all places. Ah, are you perhaps a shinobi?
That's right.
I thought as much. Might you be willing to take on a favor for me? I am Dojun. I've been tasked with the preparation of a medical treatment using the rejuvenating waters. I'll get to the point, my dear shinobi. This is a letter I received from the Master. The particulars are contained within.
Alright, so surgeon's bloody letter. A worn and bloodstained letter from Dusaku, the surgeon in the abandoned dungeon. Required one tough man, preferably a strong samurai or a young, large soldier, such as a member of the Taro troop. Must be delivered unharmed. Dusaku.
My dear, the details considering the nature of the information, I think you'd agree that the less we know about each other, the better.
Alright, so he's been tasked to use the rejuvenating waters in his experiments, and you can kind of see the result of many of his experiments right in front of us right now. Alright, so this guy, the flame vent did not work. And you can see it's just time consuming. A red lump, so a round red lump consumed to gain red eyes. Again, we picked one of these up in the Mibu village. It's gonna basically make you a posture god. Collect all our items. We got a bunch of pacifying agents, which is always nice. And then down here, we're gonna come up on another sculpture. So before we proceed any further through, we're going to go back and kind of clear our way around. Just going to ignore all the locust things. Go back to where we were. So that is the NPC that we can convince the samurai guy to go and join in the dungeon, where he will become kind of like an enemy later on. So since we already completed his quest line, we are not going to be doing that, but at the end of that, basically you get more red eye clumps. And here's the Citriman Warrior that we talked about in a previous episode. Again, we're going to come back and complete those. He's kind of an optional boss, but he provides a really strong way to unlock a very powerful prosthetic tool that we're definitely going to be using later on. Alright. We'll go ahead and rest to get our spirit emblems back, and we still have 986 spirit emblems, so again, buying them cheap when it's very early in the game, highly recommended. Alright, so now that we're in the water and we have the ability to dive, we're going to go ahead and do that. Take care of the fish. Again, some of these fish are going to be hostile. The hostile fish don't ever really grant you the carp scales that we're looking for, but down here you're going to find a few purses. Ceramic shard, which, yay. Alright, so that's the last of the fish. I believe there's an item back here. No. Go ahead and explore this tunnel. And I believe this just brings us back to where we started. Oh, nope. Some more items. Another pacifying agent. Okay, so this is the backside of where that NPC is. So an old note left by the surgeon Dusaku. My disciples have abandoned me for Dogen, unwilling to dirty their own hands. They all left me for that hypocritical quack. Dogen, my last disciple. Even if I die, the research must continue. Finish the procedure for Ashina's sake. Dosaku. So, this guy is the last disciple of Dusaku, and he is trying to finish the research on the rejuvenating waters that was originally started by Dusaku. A lot of theories say that he's actually the same guy. He just has like a split personality disorder, and he's just batshit crazy, which I tend to believe. Alright, so come up here. These guys are not a bad farm spot. They give you a hefty amount of experience, and they're relatively quick to deal with. And if you're looking to farm up pacifying agents, they're pretty decent for that. Pick up another sugar. And I believe that is all around here. So I'll hop back in the water. Take care of the musket. And then samurai guy. Okay, and then just head on through here. Pull the lever. And this is the pathway to get to the Senpou Temple, which is going to be the next area that we're going to be dealing with. Now, Senpou Temple is a lot larger than the Mibu village, so this is going to be a longer area, but it's a very important area to explain the story in the game. And we're looking for a very specific item, which is why we came through this area first. And it's going to help us unlock the most difficult of the endings in the game. Alright, so nothing here. Come up here and get some dialogue.
Those of the Senpou Temple have strayed from Buddha's teachings. They have abandoned their faith, seduced by a search for immortality. Should you be captured, there is no telling what would become of you. You would do well to return the way you came.
Alright, so this little kid is basically telling us the monks here have gone crazy, and if they capture you, they'll do bad things to you. He's not lying. The monks here have kind of lost their cool. However, they are not going to capture us.
I see you have decided to continue. We will pray for your safety. It is the least we can do.
Alright, so let's go see if we can find these kids. And you can see there's nobody here. So someone was talking to us, but they're not here, and they didn't just disappear that quickly. We'll be dealing with them later.
They left me here. Where did everyone go? Why did you leave Kotaro behind? Now what do I do?
Why are you crying?
Everyone's gone. I'm all alone.
Who's everyone?
Everyone? Huh? Who? The spinning red and white flowers. Only one pure white flower. The pure white flower I cannot find.
What?
My head hurts. Sorry. I have no idea what I'm saying. I've got to find the pure white flower.
Alright, so this is one of the NPCs in the Senpou Temple that we are going to be doing a side quest for. He is also... So there's two ways to kind of finish his story off. We can give him the red and white flower, which will send him to the merchant that we need to upgrade. And we can also give him the pure white flower, which is what we'll be doing. And he'll be joining his friends. So this is one of the monks from the Senpou Temple. Go ahead and take him out. And then I'm going to show you down here. One of the assassins is doing some weird stuff here. So this assassin here is trying to figure out how to use this kite. We'll come back to him later. But basically this kite can be sent up or down. And down there is one of the large snakes. One of the large two snakes in the game. So that's a side quest that we'll be doing later. And it's required in order to finish off the final ending of the game, which takes the most to accomplish. But basically, we're missing an ability to trigger that event. So I'm just going to proceed as planned. And we'll come back. Go ahead and hop up in this tree. You can see there's a monk here and a monk here. We'll deal with them kind of stealthily, but these guys really aren't too big of a threat. They use obviously their hands. Some of them have spears, but most of them can just be postured down just by rushing them, or in this case, stabbing them in the face. You just don't want to get swarmed by them because a lot of them have some pretty bad stun lock capabilities. So we're going to pass along this guy. There's a bunch of them behind. Alright, so here's one of them coming to fight us. So yeah, these guys are a pain in the ass when you deal with them in a group. When they do their perilous attack, it's normally a thrust. So just be ready to Makiri, or just dodge backwards and they'll miss. It's not really worth putting too much effort fighting these guys. It's a decent little farm area. Here, let me check my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, cool. So there's some items around here that we do actually want to pick up. So possession balloon. Go ahead and hop up, and you can avoid almost all the enemies in this area just by picking up all these grappling points. Alright, so how are we going to proceed? So these guys are going to be on patrol. They're going to just go up and down, and then at the top there's going to be 3 more monks, and then on the other side there's a few more. So continue to just sneak around, pick up as many items as you can without being seen, and then we can deal with all the guys later. There's an ability that you're going to gain later on in the game. It's one of your ninjutsu skills. It makes it super easy to deal with these guys because you can kind of chain stealth assassinate them. But we don't have that yet because we chose to come here. And we don't really need it, but it does make it, especially if you come back here to farm, it does make it quite simple to just kind of chain stealth kill all these dudes and deal with them that way. So hop down here. You can see some of the people are tied up. Kind of important for the story. The monks have been capturing people to do experiments on, and why is... Alright, yeah, so they've been capturing people, basically trying to force them to be experimented on with the fountainhead waters, and they're trying to figure out why they are immortal. These guys are technically immortal, and it's not the same immortality that Kuro has. It's a different one. So they're actually considered infested, which is where we're going to start heading in a direction of the difference between the infested and the divine severance endings. So we're just going to deal with all these guys, so make sure we can explore the entire area. Taking out 1s and 2s is pretty simple, but if you get like 5 of them, you can run into some issues. Take out the spear one with stealth if you can. Again, just dodge around the thrust. Now there is a type of monk enemy that is very, very difficult to deal with. They're kind of like a Beyblade spinning weird glaive thing, and those dudes are like the hardest bosses in the game. I've yet to find a good way to deal with them. I think maybe Miss Raven or Divine Abduction will work, but we don't have Divine Abduction yet. Alright, so that's all the items from this area, I believe. Let me get a bird's eye. And one more. Alright, so hop up here. Okay, cool. So, again, there's more of these little locust things. You can deal with them. Coming into this area, gonna want to go ahead and start sneaking. Don't waste any energy on these guys. We're gonna start dealing with the monks. Now, you want to deal with the monks here as quick as possible because there is another enemy that you're going to want to focus on. It's the big bro. So, just let him come to you, and don't engage the weird dude sitting up there, the old looking monk. We'll deal with him in a second. Oh, I missed. And you can see, this is much like the NPC that we just talked to, that we're going to be helping in this area. You could see the results of experimenting on the big guy here. So he escaped from basically being experimented on, but that is what he would have become had they done their experiments on him. So that's kind of the progression of this whatever these guys are trying to accomplish with the rejuvenating waters. So this guy right here, he's a very old monk. You're going to get the gourd seed from him. And you're going to see here, see all the locusts crawling on his skin and all that? He's going to come back. So go ahead and kill him again. And just to show you, it doesn't matter how many times you do. As long as the locusts are still crawling on him, he's going to continue to come back, okay? And you can't just farm him or anything. It's not like you get more and more experience for killing him over and over. It's just showing you that he is indeed immortal. We're going to talk to the old lady here.
Fruits of the serpent, yes. There are two kinds. One is fresh, the other is dried. It's over there. The fresh one is over there. Over the cliff, through the hole. That's where you'll find it.
Fresh? What are you talking about?
Something troubling you? Rice for me, that's the way. Rice, I say. If something troubles your mind, bless me with rice anytime. Have any rice from the divine child?
Alright, so she's kind of giving you a hint that right now it doesn't make sense, but when you're trying to ninjutsu that assassin that we took out earlier and fly the kite, this is basically going to open up a grapple point here that you can use, and she'll tell you that if you give her divine rice from the divine child. So again, we'll come back and knock all that out for the Dragon's Homecoming ending. Again, more tied up people, kind of dead, just laying around. But alright, so these are the Beyblade enemies I was talking about that you definitely do not want to encounter. The ones on the stairs right there, we're gonna completely ignore them. Take out these guys. Alright, so I'll hop up here. And just making sure we don't miss any items along the way. Boom. Like coin purse. Alright, so this is going to be the point that you need to get to whenever you let that guy fly the kite up here. And you're going to grapple across. You're going to jump all the way across over there. So we'll come back and do all that cool stuff later. This is a good point to pause because we got to clear out this area and it's not a very quick event. So we'll pick up right from here on the next episode and we'll clear all the way into the actual temple, which is up there. All right, catch you guys in the next one.